one thing that I really pride myself on is I'm like disciplined because I served in the military, because I try to make sure every part of my life is in order as a father, as a husband, as a homeowner, etc. So like, most people, for example, worry about their taxes, next year in April or March when they're behind. I know what I'm going to pay in tax before the year is over, so I can put the money aside into a separate bank account so I don't spend it. Like that's the kind of preparation level I'm talking about. And so when I go to internet marketing seminars, one thing that just jumps at you is just how dysfunctional most people are. In fact, a lot of them like getting drunk. A lot of them are socially awkward. A lot of them don't have their businesses actually running smoothly. They have figured out an offer that works, but everything else is in shambles, like the deliverables, the staff, everything else. It's just incredible. Like how many of these people who are making millions of dollars working, 10 hours, 20 hours a week from their laptops from some location in Bali or Miami, how they're actually not great business owners. If you take the same person and put them to run a gelato place or a restaurant or an office of some kind, that place will burn to the ground on the second week, I assure you. But somehow online, they're rolling in the money and they're still able to do it while being super dysfunctional, which is a testament to the business itself, just how simple it is once you front load the effort.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I think also, I think you're right that some people are not suited to run a traditional, quote unquote traditional business, or they're frankly they're not that good with people, or they just don't want to interact with people for whatever reason, or the idea, like sometimes when I'm shopping, in a retail store, I think, well, thank goodness somebody is willing to have this retail store open because I need it. But I would never want to deal with this, with the razor thin margins, with I have to cross my fingers every day that people are going to walk through that door. I couldn't imagine it. It would just be nonstop anxiety and stress. And the nice thing about what I have is I don't have to deal with overhead. I don't have to. I mean, I have some sort of employees. They're all contractors, but it's just not the same series of worries. I don't have to worry about I'm not coming in today because my dog is sick, and it turns out the person's just a screw up, and I don't have the headaches that I keep hearing constantly from other people.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't even have to see these people or know these people because, I started out and I started building my team remotely. My team was like in Europe, and then some of it was in Africa, India, like all kinds of places. But then one day I said, you know what? I'm tired of all these dysfunctional freelancers. I'm going to build a team locally. At the time, I was living in Israel, and I started hiring locals. And I thought if they're local, they're kind of like me, smart, ambitious, sharp, etc. But you know what I discovered? As soon as I started hiring them and making them come to an office, it became an unbearable experience for me because I started micromanaging everybody. I was paying more attention to their behavior in the office than I was to the numbers in the business. I was miserable. I didn't write copy. I was constantly behind on my own projects. And overall, I realized that I'm just not suited to be in an office. Like going to the office every day made me miserable. So then I just got rid of everyone. I said, you know what? You're staying, you're fired, and you guys work from home. And I myself, instead of working in an office, when I started working out of a coffee shop that was in the middle of a shopping mall with like really, really high ceilings and lots of light. So I was like in this spacious place. I had great espresso. There was like people that would come, regulars who would come in. We would chat. I could people watch people who were like retail shopping. And I spent like the next 5 years working in that coffee shop. I recorded my first podcast episode using this microphone, using this MacBook from the coffee shop. In fact, the reason I got this microphone was because it has great noise suppression and it's portable. I can take it with me anywhere. Like I don't have to hook it up to a table and have it, like in front of me. So it was just, just this business the beauty of this business is that you can make it fit your lifestyle and not vice versa. Yo, it's Igor. I want you to have my Amazon best-selling book for free for taking the time to listen to my podcast and to watch my YouTube videos. Now, I'm not only going to give you this book for free, but I'm going to throw in about $3.2 thousand in free bonuses. Now, if you want to get this book, please click the link in the description, or you can also go to igorsbook.com. And now, back to the podcast.
What I found with the business is that it can make me have greater ambitions for my lifestyle because I have the flexibility to live the way I want to. And now some people will say, well, it's easy for you to say this, Woods, because you have an audience already and I don't. But that's true. But number one, I know people, well, like Matt McWilliams. Matt McWilliams was not, even though he does have a book coming out, he was not an author like I was. He's not a universal presence on YouTube as I sort of used to be. And yet he's built up an amazing, amazing online business. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is I didn't come out of the womb with an audience. You know, I started at zero like anybody. Everybody starts at zero. Every single person you're looking at started at zero. But the issue is when you're at zero, are you going to sit around saying, well, of course I'm going to forever be at zero? Well, if that's your attitude, yeah, then you're not cut out for this. You know, go get a job for $15 an hour because you're not cut out for this. Instead, you should be thinking, I wonder how I could do that, because that's what I did. There's a guy out there. There are two Pat Flynn's out there whom I like, and the one I have in mind is the one who runs. I don't know if he still does the Smart Passive Income podcast, but he used to have an income breakdown on his website, and every month he would list exactly what he earned, how he earned it, and then all his outgo, what his expenses were, what he paid out. And I noticed that he was making $30,000 to $40,000 a month promoting Bluehost web hosting. I thought, $30,000 to $40,000 a month promoting one thing that everybody needs, by the way. If you're going to start a website, you need to have hosting. So I thought to myself, I didn't think to myself, oh, he probably had some big advantage, or maybe he was on Oprah one day, or what. I didn't sit there making a million excuses why I couldn't do it. I sat there and thought to myself, and I think this is the mature way to look at it, I'm probably not going to make $30,000 or $40,000 a month with this, but maybe I could bring in a little bit of that. But then also, I'm thinking about the end user, not just myself, but the end user. What does somebody seeking web hosting services need that Bluehost can't give them? So I thought, well, here's the things they need. They don't know how to use WordPress, probably. They're starting a blog. They probably never used it before. So I've got some tutorials for them. If they use my link, I'll give them the tutorials. Secondly, they probably aren't going to get any traffic because nobody knows who they are. But I have an audience. I'll promote their website to my audience in exchange for them getting the product through my link. Then thirdly, I created a Facebook group for people who use my link, because we all want to help each other. We all have questions. We all get stuck with a tech issue or a promotion issue, like how do I get more visitors, whatever. So I say you have free membership in that group. So I came up with a package of things. So this again is what the market economy is supposed to be about. That it's the old saying of Zig Ziglar, if you give other people what they want, they'll give you what you want, which is money. So I gave them what they wanted. They need the hosting, but I'm also saying to them, I'll help you get visitors to your site, which is the thing that most people have a problem with. And I'll do all these things for you. So I didn't sit and think, oh, this could never possibly work for me. I thought, well, what do I have to offer? And by the way, I don't know how to, I know how to use WordPress, but I don't want to make tutorials. So I bought tutorials from Charles Harper that I had the rights to. And so I'm allowed to give those away as a bonus. I just bought I think I paid $10 for that. And I'm allowed to give that away as a bonus. So I looked around. I did my research. And the result is that I do well enough for Bluehost that every year at Christmas, they send me a gift basket with wine in it. Nice. So that was it. So I didn't say, oh, this is hopeless, or rich people are exploiters, or any of these types of things that completely sabotage you never even entered my mind.
Wow. That's really smart. So you're talking about the approach of using bonuses to entice people to sign up to your
bonuses,
link,
yeah.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's so smart to do. I mean, I really admire this approach so much. I actually have a program where I teach it, where I teach my entire campaign breakdown and how I put bonus packages together, which I think is an important thing to do, especially today, and especially when you're promoting something that would be considered a commodity. Like Bluehost is really considered a commodity product online. It's hosting. Like you can throw a rock somewhere on the internet and you can hit a hosting company. But to be able to promote such a competitive thing, I think you've done brilliantly to have come up with a
Thank
bonus
you.
package that makes sense to people. So that's awesome. Well,
Thank you.
we're it's time to wrap up. So first off, I wanted to remind you guys that you can and you should go check out Tom's work. And you can actually go and find more information about Tom at two places. First, you can go to Paths to Income. That's path as in plural form, pathstoincome.com, where you can get on Tom's Make Money list, which I highly recommend you get on that list, if for nothing other than just studying the way that he communicates to the list. It's amazing. And another website that I recommend you go to is tomwoods.com, where you can get a full picture of what Tom's about, as well as subscribe and listen to his show. That, in my opinion, if you're a capitalist or you believe in the idea that making money is a good thing, that we live in the material world and that you gain more freedom the more money you have, this is definitely a show you should listen to. And because some of the ideas expressed in that show, like I really like it. I don't get involved in politics, but I do resonate with a lot of what he says. So go to tomwoods.com and go to pathstoincome.com. There will be links in the show notes, so you can check them out at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com.